What if healing isn't about more effort, but less? Most people don't break because their emotions are too strong. They break because their emotions are too crowded. Too many layers of thought, too many fears piled on top of each other. We don't drown in the depth of an emotion. We drown in the complexity we build around it. But what if emotional peace begins with emotional simplicity? Pure emotion is remarkably simple. Sadness, anger, fear, confusion, loneliness. These feelings, by themselves, are clean, honest, and straightforward. But the mind rarely leaves them untouched. It decorates them with stories. Why did this happen to me? What if it happens again? Maybe I'm just not enough. Then it adds judgment. I shouldn't feel this way. I'm being weak. People will think I'm too dramatic. And then we stir in memory's old wounds, future anxieties, past disappointments, and the heavy expectations we place on ourselves. Suddenly, one simple emotion becomes an impossible maze. Emotion is simple. Suffering is complicated. So, how do we find our way out? Through emotional minimalism. This isn't about being cold or detached. It's about gaining clarity. It means stripping an emotion down to its essence and letting it be only what it is, nothing more, nothing less. Instead of saying, I'm hurt because they don't respect me, and this reminds me of how I was treated in the past, and maybe I'm unlovable, and I shouldn't have trusted them. You return to the core. I'm hurt. That's it. Pure, simple, true. When an emotion becomes simple, it becomes gentler, less overwhelming, and more human. This is where real emotional intelligence begins the moment you hear the emotion before you hear the story around it. Imagine holding a glass of muddy water. If you keep stirring it, analyzing it, poking at it, the water never clears. But if you just set it down and let it be still, the mud settles naturally. Our emotions work the same way. The more you overanalyze them and attach endless stories to them, the darker and murkier they become. But when you simplify, you stop stirring. The mind settles. The emotion becomes understandable. And that's when healing begins. Here's a simple but powerful practice to start developing this skill. First, name the feeling in one single word. Sad, angry, hurt, tired, anxious. Just one word. Second, drop the story. Don't add because. Don't add always or never. Don't add the past or the future. Just let the feeling exist without a narrative. Third, sit with the feeling as it is. No judgment, no guilt, no resistance. Just allow it to be there for a moment. Finally, ask one gentle question. What is this emotion trying to tell me? You'll often find that sadness is asking for rest. Anger is asking for boundaries. Fear is asking for preparation. Loneliness is asking for connection. Confusion is asking for stillness. When your emotions become simple, they become useful guides instead of overwhelming enemies. This idea isn't new. It's a powerful blend of ancient wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that the disturbance is not in the event itself, but in our perception of it. Eastern philosophy shows that when the mind becomes clear, emotion returns to its natural, manageable form. One path gives us structure, the other gives us softness. Together, they create emotional simplicity, a way of being where you can fully honor your emotions without drowning in them. This simplicity is not weakness, it is profound stability. When you practice emotional minimalism, you start to respond instead of react. You listen instead of getting defensive. You speak from a place of clarity instead of fear. You can set boundaries without feeling guilty, and you can love others without losing yourself in the process. Simplicity creates emotional oxygen. It gives you the space to see, the space to breathe, and the space to choose your next step wisely. Think of a complicated emotion as a tight knot. The more thoughts, judgments, and catastrophic predictions you wrap around it, the tighter the knot becomes. But when you start to remove those extra threads, the assumptions, the self-criticism, the knot begins to loosen. What remains is something small enough to hold, gentle enough to understand, and human enough to heal. Emotional intelligence isn't about controlling your emotions. It's about uncomplicating them. When you simplify your emotions, you heal faster. You forgive easier. You understand yourself on a much deeper level. You stop reliving old pain because you stop creating new pain from old wounds. Healing isn't about becoming smarter or analyzing more. It's about becoming clearer. Deep down, every single emotion carries one simple message. Please listen to me. Emotional simplicity is the art of finally hearing that message without all the noise and distortion. And when your emotions settle. You stop chasing people for validation. You stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. You stop fighting battles that have already ended and fearing futures that haven't happened yet. You become grounded, present, and aware. Emotional simplicity doesn't reduce your depth. It protects it. Remember, your emotions are not too much. Your thoughts about your emotions are. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, return to the essence. One feeling, one breath, one truth. Simplicity doesn't take your emotion away. It frees it. And in doing so, it frees you. If this message helped you find a little more clarity today, please share it with someone else who might need it, and join us on this journey of mindful living. Thank you for listening.